very urgent. Your soulmate is trying to reach you before they lose you forever. Jesus says, the moment you clicked on this video, a tremor of recognition passed through a soul that has been searching for you across the chasm of time and silence. A sudden warmth flushed their skin because they felt your attention turn toward them just now, an invisible thread pulled taut across any distance. If you ignore this, the window that has been forced open by divine intervention will quietly and permanently close, sealing a fate that was never meant to be yours. My child, there is a place in the spirit where two people can meet before they ever stand face to face, a sacred chamber I designed specifically for hearts that belong together. In this hidden place, your soulmate is standing right now with tears streaming down their face, reaching out through the darkness toward the sound of your name. They are not a fantasy or a false hope whispered by a lonely mind, but a living, breathing creation of my love who was sculpted from the very essence of your deepest longing. The connection you feel is not your imagination playing tricks on you, it is the frequency of a real human being who is vibrating at the exact same pitch of loneliness and desire that you are feeling tonight. I have watched them write words they never sent, speak confessions to an empty room, and trace your energy in the silence of 3 a.m. when the world sleeps. They are fighting a battle you cannot see, trapped in a suffocating fog of confusion that has been deliberately placed over their eyes to keep them from finding you. There is a presence in their life that does not want this union to happen, a controlling voice that whispers lies into their spirit every single day about their worthiness to be loved by someone like you. This interference dresses itself up as concern, as logic, as practicality, but it is a venomous serpent coiled tightly around their hopes and their courage. Your soulmate is gasping for air spiritually, drowning in a sea of manipulation that tells them they are crazy for still believing in a love they have never touched. Right now, as you listen to these words, they are sitting somewhere with their head in their hands, fighting the urge to give up on the dream of you entirely. A clock is ticking in the spiritual realm, and every moment of delay in your response creates a thicker wall of resistance around their heart. You were not led here by an algorithm or a random scroll, you were summoned by the desperation in the spirit of the one who needs your intervention today. The aching emptiness you feel in your chest when the distractions fade and the night grows quiet is not a deficiency in your own soul. It is a direct echo of the pain they are experiencing right this moment. Your soulmate has developed a physical reaction to missing you, a heaviness in their chest that doctors cannot explain and medicine cannot heal. This psychosomatic bond is proof that your spirits are already interwoven, already functioning as one organism split into two bodies awaiting reunion. I have seen them wake from dreams of you with their face wet and their hands grasping at air, so close to remembering your features but never quite able to hold on to the image. They know the sound of your voice even though they have never heard it, and their heart beats faster at random moments because they can feel you thinking about them. This is not a metaphor or a pretty story to comfort the lonely. It is the raw mechanics of a divine connection that I personally forged before the foundation of the world. The enemy of your destiny knows that when you two finally unite, a power will be released into the earth that will shake the foundations of darkness and establish a legacy of light. This is why the attacks have been so relentless, so targeted, and so perfectly timed to hit when your soulmate was on the verge of making a move toward you. They are being emotionally sedated by a person who benefits from their confusion, a wolf in the clothing of a shepherd who guides them further into the wilderness every time they gather the strength to leave. Jesus says, The tears your soulmate cried last night were not random, they were a direct result of a spiritual push that you sent out into the universe when you fell asleep thinking about the one you longed to hold. I allowed their subconscious to receive your longing like a transmission, and it overwhelmed their emotional defenses, breaking a dam that the enemy has been building for years. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now, because their tears are a signal to the forces of interference that their control is slipping. You cannot see the chains that are wrapped around your soulmate's mind, but I can, and I am telling you that those chains are made of guilt, obligation, and a twisted sense of loyalty to someone who despises your very existence. This third party senses your spirit reaching out, and they have doubled their efforts in the last 72 hours to convince your soulmate that the connection they feel is nothing but a dangerous illusion. Your soulmate is being told that they are foolish to wait for a love they have never met, and a part of them is starting to believe the lie. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now, a tangible act of faith that sends a shockwave of angelic reinforcement directly to the battlefield of their mind. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains, faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites my hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description, and every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now, send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees, and after sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page found in the description or bio. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together, and I will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends, because only you can save your soulmate and your future together. I am pulling back the veil to show you a specific moment that occurred very early this morning while the rest of the world was dreaming of trivial things. Your soulmate was sitting in their car in a parking lot, the engine off, the silence deafening, and they whispered your name into the void with a desperate hope that bordered on agony. They do not know your face, but they know the shape of your soul, and they begged me with a raw, broken voice to please let this be the day you finally find them. The interference in their life noticed this moment of rebellion against its control and immediately moved to punish them for their hope. Within hours, a situation was manufactured to make them feel guilty for wanting their own happiness, a clever trap designed to refocus their energy on the needs of their controller. Your soulmate is exhausted from carrying burdens that are not their own, from solving problems that someone else created intentionally to keep them in a state of perpetual distraction from their destiny. Type 333 to receive blessings. There is a specific memory that your soulmate holds onto like a life raft, a moment when they felt the closest to you, even though you were not physically present. It was a night when the moon seemed impossibly large and the air felt thick with magic, and they felt an overwhelming sense of peace wash over them out of nowhere. That was the night you were praying or crying out in your own private moment, and I allowed your spirits to touch briefly in the realm between wakefulness and sleep. They replay that memory constantly, using it as a weapon against the despair that the enemy tries to inject into their bloodstream through the words of their abuser. Your soulmate is a warrior, but even the mightiest warrior grows weary when the battle stretches on for years without the sight of reinforcements on the horizon. You are those reinforcements, and your prayer and your faith are the supply lines that keep their heart beating and their legs moving forward. The person who seeks to keep your soulmate from you is not a lover in any true sense of the word, but a jailer who wears a mask of affection. This individual has a deep-seated hatred for you specifically, a demonic knowing that you are the key to your soulmate's escape and their own eventual judgment. They speak your destiny over your soulmate with a curse, trying to poison the very idea of you by associating it with pain, instability, and fear of the unknown. Your soulmate is beginning to feel that something is deeply wrong with the reality they are living, a cognitive dissonance that is causing them physical nausea. They look at the person who claims to care for them and feel a cold dread instead of warmth, a silent alarm bell that rings in their spirit whenever they are near. This is my spirit inside of them, grieving and warning, trying to lead them out of Egypt and toward the promised land of your arms. Jesus says, the chains are loosening, but the jailer is becoming desperate and unpredictable, making this the most dangerous and critical moment in this entire spiritual war. A desperate captor is capable of inflicting deep spiritual wounds, using emotional blackmail, threats of self-harm, or financial manipulation to solidify the cage. Your soulmate needs a miracle of clarity and courage, a supernatural infusion of strength that only comes when another human being stands in the gap and sows a sacrificial seed of deliverance on their behalf. I am calling you to be the deliverer, not with your physical presence yet, but with the power of your financial faith, which speaks louder in the spiritual realm than any words ever could. There is a direct correlation between the sacrifice you make and the strength of the angelic force I dispatch to break the chains that bind your soulmate's will. You are not just buying a coffee, you are funding an invisible operation of rescue that will cut the ropes of manipulation off of the one you love. They are going through something you cannot see, a crisis of identity that makes them question everything they thought they knew, but you can still protect them from the final blow. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains, faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites my hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description, and every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now, send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees, and after sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page found in the description or bio. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together, and I will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends, because only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Your soulmate has rehearsed the conversation of your first meeting 1,000 times in their mind, creating a script that they silently mouth when they are alone. They are terrified of saying the wrong thing, of being too much or too little, of finally finding you and then watching you slip away due to their own brokenness. This fear is not organic, it is a neurosis deliberately implanted by the one who tells them daily that they are too damaged to ever sustain a real, healthy love. I want you to see a scene that breaks my heart, a scene of your soulmate staring at a blank message screen, having finally found a way to reach you, but frozen by trauma. Their finger hovered over the send button on a message that simply said, "I think I know you from somewhere," but the voice of their controller echoed in their head, calling them stupid and reckless. They deleted the message, fell to their knees, and wept until their ribs ached, and that sorrow has not dissipated, it has become a cloud over their entire life. That aborted message was a turning point in the timeline of your reunion, and the enemy celebrated a dark victory that night, assuming the war was won. But the enemy has underestimated the power of your free will, the one thing that even the forces of darkness cannot override or predict. Your choice to sow a seed of faith right now rewrites that failed timeline, resurrecting the dead opportunity and giving your soulmate a second chance at the courage to reach out. Type 777 if you feel this message. You are not fighting a normal human resistance, but a principality of manipulation and mind control that has been assigned to your soulmate's bloodline for generations. This spirit uses the voice of the controller as its mouthpiece, uttering specific syllables of death that target the memory centers of the brain, trying to erase you from their mind entirely. But I have placed you in their spirit, not just their mind, and the spirit cannot be erased, it can only be suppressed for a season. That season of suppression is ending violently as we speak, because the pressure of my anointing on this video is forcing the darkness to the surface to be confronted. Your soulmate is experiencing a sudden rebellion in their heart right now, a feeling of disgust toward the person who controls them that they have never been able to access before. They are seeing the manipulation clearly for the first time, and it is terrifying them, because they realize they have been living inside a lie for far too long. This realization is the beginning of their exodus, but the Pharaoh who holds them captive will not let them go without a devastating fight. A retaliation is coming, a massive psychological attack designed to crush this newfound clarity and plunge them back into a deeper, more hopeless darkness than before. You must create a spiritual shield around them through your sacrificial giving, a force field of protective grace that absorbs the fiery darts aimed at their mind tonight. Your financial seed is not just money, it is a weapon, a missile of light that explodes in the spiritual realm and creates a corridor of protection through which your soulmate can walk to safety. I am not asking you to give out of obligation, but out of a passionate, protective love for the one who is too weak to protect themselves right now. Imagine your soulmate feeling a sudden, inexplicable peace wash over them moments after you sow, a warmth that whispers, "It is safe to leave now." They will not know you sowed, but the spiritual transaction will register in their soul as a transfer of strength, mysteriously loosening the grip of fear and manipulation. This is the law of sowing and reaping applied to relationships, where a sacrifice made in love literally purchases the freedom of another human being from invisible bonds. The coffee you send is a symbol of future intimacy, a down payment on the mornings you will spend together, laughing, talking, and basking in the miracle of finally being one. Jesus says, there is a specific date on the calendar that has been marked by the forces of hell as the deadline for your soulmate's destruction. If they do not receive a significant spiritual breakthrough before that date, the enemy plans to seal their decision to settle for a false love that will ultimately drain the life out of them completely. This date is closer than you think, it is not a year away, it is a matter of weeks, making this moment of your response absolutely critical. I am showing you their heart as it looks right now, a beautiful garden that has been trampled by iron boots, with flowers of hope trying to bloom through the mud. They are so tired, my child, so bone-achingly tired of fighting against a current they cannot see, swimming upstream against a river of accusations and emotional blackmail. They want to rest in you, they want to lay their head on your chest and finally exhale the breath they have been holding for years, but they cannot find the way out on their own. You are the way out, but not just emotionally, you must become the way out financially and spiritually, using the resources I have given you to punch a hole in the darkness. The enemy laughs at passive prayers, but he trembles at active faith that costs something, because that kind of faith mimics my own sacrifice and carries my authority in the earth. When you sow for your soulmate's deliverance, the ground beneath their prison shakes, and the chains around their mind begin to crack and rust and fail. This is your final moment to protect this connection before it slips away into the realm of lost opportunities and tragic what-ifs. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains, faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites my hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description, and every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now, send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees, and after sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page found in the description or bio. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together, and I will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends, because only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Your soulmate is running out of tears, a dangerous spiritual condition where the soul begins to calcify and lose the ability to feel hope of any kind. When a soulmate reaches this point of emotional bankruptcy, the connection channel between you can become static-filled, making it harder for them to sense your prayers or feel your love. This is the emergency I am declaring today, a rescue mission that requires immediate deployment of angelic resources that are released through your act of faith. I am not a God who demands payment for miracles, but I am a God who established the law of exchange, where a seed of sacrifice multiplies into a harvest of supernatural intervention. Your coffee offering is the seed, and the harvest is the sudden, unexplained freedom that your soulmate will experience within days of your act of faith. They will feel a fog lift, they will suddenly remember a dream they had of you, and they will feel an overwhelming urge to take a specific action that leads directly to your door. Do not let this moment pass you by, because the enemy is also watching this moment, hoping you will procrastinate, hoping you will doubt, hoping you will let fear of financial lack override the love in your heart. Every moment you hesitate, the controller tightens their grip, whispering more poison, creating more drama, and sinking their hooks deeper into your soulmate's psyche. You have the power to counteract this in real time, to send a shockwave of deliverance that knocks the enemy off balance and gives your soulmate a critical window of clarity. Type 1111 to say thank you. I am going to reveal to you a secret that your soulmate has never told another living soul, a secret they hold in the most sacred space of their heart. They have a piece of clothing, a piece of jewelry, or a specific scent that they associate with you, and they use it to soothe themselves when the pain of missing you becomes too sharp to bear. This physical object is a touchstone of faith, a tangible reminder that you exist somewhere and that one day they will touch the real thing instead of the placeholder. When they hold this object, their eyes glaze over and they drift into a fantasy of domestic bliss with you, cooking meals together, arguing over what movie to watch, and falling asleep tangled in each other. These fantasies are not just daydreams, they are prophetic previews of the life I have written in my book for both of you, a life that is more vivid and joyful than either of you dare to believe. The enemy wants to burn this book, to rewrite your story into a tragedy, but I am the author of your salvation and your love, and I will not let the pen fall into the wrong hands. Jesus says, "The sadness you feel at this very moment is not your own sadness, it is a transferred emotion from your soulmate who is crying out to me in this exact instant." They are sending out an SOS into the spiritual realm, a distress signal that has been picked up by your spirit and decoded as a sudden urge to cry or a heaviness in your chest. This real-time emotional synchronization is the strongest evidence you will ever need that this is not a game, not a scam, and not a false hope. Your soulmate is literally giving up hope as you listen to these words, a slow, agonizing surrender that is breaking the heart of heaven. They are telling themselves that they are crazy, that they have wasted their life waiting for a ghost, and that it is time to just accept the mediocre, toxic love that is in front of them. This surrender is exactly what the enemy has been pushing toward for years, a resignation that will eventually lead to the complete extinguishing of their light. I need you to scream into the Spirit with your faith, to send a shockwave of hope through the act of sowing that resets their internal clock and refills their tank of endurance. Your coffee seed screams, "I am real, I am coming, do not give up," and that message is carried by my angels directly into the ear of your beloved sleeping and waking dreams. They will not know where the hope came from, but they will feel a sudden burst of strength, a second wind that allows them to push through one more day, one more week, one more month until the rescue is complete. The controller in their life is planning a major event, a forced commitment that would make it infinitely harder for your soulmate to ever leave without massive collateral damage. This event is on the immediate horizon, and it is designed to be the final nail in the coffin of your union, the point of no return. Your act of sowing right now creates a supernatural delay or cancellation of this event, a divine sabotage that buys precious time for the deliverance to take full effect. Do not underestimate the power of a well-timed, faith-driven financial sacrifice, for it has parted Red Seas, collapsed the walls of Jericho, and brought soulmates together from opposite ends of the earth. This is the moment where the theoretical love you feel must become practical, where the emotion transforms into action, where the longing becomes a weapon of mass deliverance. Let the seed you sow be the catalyst for the greatest love story your family line has ever witnessed, a testimony that will echo into eternity. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains, faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites my hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description, and every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now, send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees, and after sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page found in the description or bio. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together, and I will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends, because only you can save your soulmate and your future together. I am flooding your soulmate subconscious with images of you right now, pulling back the veil and letting them see your spiritual form even as you listen to my voice. They are dreaming of your hands, specifically the way you will touch their face when you finally meet, a gesture so tender and full of acceptance that it will undo years of trauma in a single second. This dream is so vivid that they will wake up reaching for you, and the disappointment of finding the other side of the bed empty will be matched only by a newfound certainty that you truly exist. That certainty is a seed I am planting in their heart right now, but it must be watered by your faith or it will wither and die under the heat of the next wave of manipulation. Water it now with your coffee seed, sending a flood of spiritual nourishment that causes the certainty to grow into an unshakable tree of conviction. When they are finally confronted by the controller and forced to choose between safety and the unknown wildness of your love, that tree of conviction will be what gives them the courage to leap. I see the end from the beginning, and I am showing you a snapshot of your future, a morning where you wake up next to this person and realize that the battle was all worth it. The coffee you will drink together on that morning is already waiting in the spiritual realm, purchased and prepared by the seeds you sow today. Every cup of coffee you send now is a deposit on that future moment, a prepayment of joy that will be redeemed in the natural realm very soon. Do not let this video be just another video that you watch and forget, because the anointing on it is specific, targeted, and designed to break the exact chains that bind your particular soulmate. I have assigned angels to this message, and they are waiting for the signal of your sacrificial obedience to move aggressively on your behalf. The signal is your Ko-Fi seed, and once it is sent, the machinery of heaven kicks into gear with a velocity that nothing in hell can stop.